What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to this first Football Manager 2016 Let's Play here on my channel. We're doing it with Liverpool. They're the team I support. It's a team that I've not managed in my 3 years of doing Football Manager here on YouTube. If you're a first time viewer, because I appreciate people come looking for Football Manager content when the game first launches, my name's Jack. I have a load of Let's Plays on my channel. I also do guides, other bits and pieces. I've been playing the Football Manager and Championship Manager series for over 10 years. I've worked on the game as a tester at Sports Interactive. I have a reasonably good knowledge of the game, I'd say, and my Let's Plays are really about taking smaller teams normally up through the divisions and hopefully teaching you guys a thing or two along the way. However, with the launch of the game in the beta, I always like to start with a bigger team, so I thought we'd do Liverpool because they're the team I supported, as I mentioned. They're also a team that I've never done a save with here on my channel, and I guess having finished 6th last year, and I guess disappointingly finishing 6th at that, considering that they finished 2nd the year before that, Liverpool are in quite an interesting situation in real life. Of course, Klopp has taken over in real life. In this alternative Football Manager universe, I am the boss. We're going to be trying to restore, I guess, Liverpool, try and win a Premier League title. You can see a little bit about the club here in terms of past trophies won. You can see here a quick look at our kind of team report, so you can see Coutinho is our best player at the moment. So I guess we'll have a quick look at our squad. In this episode, the general format I do with these videos, especially the early ones, is I'll have a look at my squad, show you guys some plans that I have. We'll then go forward to the first game of the season, look at transfers and all that jazz. Anyway, just a quick look at the squad. We'll have more of a look at it, I guess, for the first game of the season once I know what style I want to play. Looking at the team here, Firmino and Coutinho, the big two players at this side. So Firmino here, obviously a new addition in real life, looks like a good player. We also have Coutinho, so we've got some really talented midfielders, and you can see here we've got some pretty good players, all things considering. Sturridge and I believe Henderson are going to be out with injuries to start the season, so that's something to contend with. In terms of transfer budget, we are sitting with £16.6 million in the kind of kitty. We also have £200,000 on the wages to spend. Our current wage budget is £2,239,000 a week, of which £2 million is actually been spent on players. Anyway, I'm actually going to skip forward straight through the preseason here, guys. We'll have a look at some of the preseason results. I'm going to show you guys my formation, my signings, my team. I want to keep this video fairly short and snappy for you new time viewers, so you can get a bit of a flavour, I guess, of what I do here with my videos. So I will join you guys at the end of preseason. We'll have a look at what I've done behind the scenes, and then we will crack on with our first game of the season. Okay guys, so we are back. It's the end of pre-season. First game of the season is going to be against Southampton. It's a Sunday kickoff at Anfield. As you can see, a load of the other teams have already played in the league, so that's happened. Today, we're going to, in this episode, review my transfers and also my tactics for the year. And then next episode, which is going to be against Chelsea, which is our very next game, I'm going to go over my backroom staff changes and kind of my training setup, because there's a lot that's changed. Can't really condense it all down into one video. So I guess we'll look at the interesting thing really, which is the transfers. And as you can see here, we moved on a few players for some decent money. We also spent a lot of money, and a lot of these names are young. Well, all of them are youngsters, to be honest, which we'll come on to shortly. We'll just quickly look at the outset. Enrique went out for £2.5 million to Crystal Palace. The left wing back is not a player who's going to feature in my first team plans. He's on a fair bit of wage, so we managed to move him on to a Premier League side for a little bit of dosh. The next player on the outs was Kolo Touré, again a player who just was never going to feature in the first team this year. Whilst he's a good experienced player, I'd rather free up the wage budget, and so that's what we did. We also loaned out Origi to Galatasaray, and the other big out, and I guess the biggest one of all, was the fact we sold Adam Lallana to Monaco for £20 million. There's also an additional clause in there that could see us get another £2.5 million. So looking at Lallana here, this year we're only going to be playing with one centre attacking mid and no wide men. As a result, Lallana was a little bit surplus to requirements because we have a lot of talent in the centre attacking mid position. As a result, I decided to move him on. So we got £20+ million for a 27-year-old player who doesn't really fit our formation. We have better players ahead of him. I was pretty glad to get that return. So anyway, moving on to the ins, as I mentioned, we signed a lot of younger players here, and a lot of these transfers are deals where we're going to be paying a little bit of money over the next kind of 4 seasons. But I think these are all long-term investments. I'm hoping all these players are going to be players who develop to play in the first team. So I guess we'll take a look at the first one here, which is Thiago Maia. We'll go with it. This guy is a Santos youngster. I believe in real life his contract actually runs out like next Christmas perhaps. He's a hotly tipped player to come to Europe. As you can see, he's 18 years old, fantastic defensive midfielder, really good determination, which I like, good solid physicals. He's just an all-round technically gifted and mentally gifted player, particularly for a guy who's only 18 years old, and he joined us for £6 million, so I was delighted to get that deal done for so cheap. The next player, a player who for the last few football managers has been a really solid centre-back. We go with Emmanuel Mamana. This guy is an Argentine international with 1 cap at the age of 19. Looks like a fantastic ball-playing kind of centre-back. Probably going to be 4th choice this year behind Sacco, Skirtle and Lovren, but I certainly want to see him get a little bit of first-team football this year. And yeah, just a really nice player to pick up. Paid a lot for him, but I'm pretty sure he's going to feature in our first team a lot. The next player we have is a player who I'm taking a little bit of a gamble with, but I'm pretty optimistic it's going to pay off for us, and it's this guy, Kubis. He's an Argentine player again. He's currently back on loan at Boca. He didn't get a work permit. I decided to loan him back to the club we signed him from for £10 million. As you can see, he played a few games for them this year, so it will at least give him some time in the first team to hopefully develop some more. And upon the end of the Argentine season, which ends kind of Christmas time in the UK, he should hopefully have improved enough that we can get him a work permit, or at least kind of he'll be in a better place than he currently is now. But he's a really good centre mid, good talented player. Looking forward to having him at the club. The next player we have is a well-known player in European football. It's Abril and Bolo, who is a Swiss international. We signed him from Basel for £20 million. Bit of a big fee really, but he scored 10 goals last year in 27 games for them in the Swiss kind of top flight. And looking at this guy, a good talented striker. Given the fact we have Sturridge out for a few months at the start of the season, it was important that I had a striker kind of behind, I guess, the likes of Ings and Benteke, who was capable of playing in the first team. This guy ticks a lot of boxes, looks like he's going to be a fantastic advance forward in the future. Not the best player in the air, but the rest of his game is really, really kind of pleasing to see. The next player we have is this guy, Serbian international, Predrag Rajkovic, we'll go with. You can see this guy, he's 19, has a cap for Serbia, but didn't get a work permit for us. We've signed him from Tel Aviv, and then I've loaned him back to them. So we've only paid £6 million, which is a pretty decent fee, I think, for this goalkeeper. He's only 19 years old, plenty of time to develop. Hopefully in playing in Israel, he'll kind of, I guess, enhance his reputation and start playing for Serbia more regularly as their kind of main international goalkeeper, and that'll help him get a work permit. But I'm optimistic to see how this guy develops. The last player we have is another big transfer, like the Embolo one, £20 million paid, and that is for Low Cataldi. I'm going to go with that. He's Italian, 21 years old, probably the most first team ready out of all the signings we've made. He's a centre defensive mid, but he can also play centre mid and centre attacking mid. Looking at him here, you can see best role deep lane playmaker. He's a really exciting player. If we just have a quick look at his report, he's got resolute characteristics, capable of playing multiple positions. He's a consistent performer according to my scouts. He's just a really good, talented box-to-box midfielder, which for a 21-year-old is pleasing. You can see really well-rounded. I'm really happy with the centre mids we've brought in. I think we're going to have a really strong spine to our side. You may notice I've not signed any wingers. And I mentioned the fact we sold Lallana, so I guess with that we'll move on to my tactics for this season. As you can see here, we're lining up with a 4-3-1-2. It really should be considered more of a 4-1-2-1-2. Kind of, you know, your 4-4-2 diamond. The difference being that we're not playing with a defensive mid, we're instead playing with Lucas as a centre mid on defend. Looking at our team here, we start with Mignolet in goal. Nothing too crazy going on there. Our back four is Moreno, Sacco, Skirtle and Klein. Nice team, pretty happy with it. Klein and Moreno, my only real concern with these guys is their strength isn't the best. I'd like to have a little bit more of brute force, I guess, out on the wing-back position. As you can see, they're playing as full-back support, so they will get up a little bit. Sacco and Skirtle, just two really good centre-backs. I'm happy with these two guys. I think they complement each other quite nicely. Both are fairly well-rounded centre-backs, really. Neither of them is rapid, I guess, when it comes to their pace, but they're certainly not slow by any means. In midfield, we go with Lucas as kind of the rock of the midfield, a player who, in real life for Liverpool, hasn't played as much in the first team as perhaps he could. I think he's had a few injuries, you know. It's been a kind of rough few years for him, but he has started to play for them in real life. In this defensive mid role, he's going to be doing that for us here. On his left, he's going to have Emre Can playing as the box-to-box midfielder. Doesn't have the legs, kind of pace-wise, you might expect of a box-to-box midfielder in terms of his acceleration, but his pace isn't too bad. Good stamina though, work rate isn't too shabby. In the deep line playmaker position, we go with Firmino, player who's struggling a little bit in training early on. Worth keeping an eye on that. We're certainly going to be playing around with this centre mid partnership and kind of set up to kind of work out which players suit which positions best. But for now, we're going with Coutinho in the advanced playmaker role. The best player in the team. I want to make the most of him, stick him as kind of the key to our team in terms of linking up our midfield and attack. And then ahead of him to start the season, we're going to go with Benteke as a complete forward. And of course Danny Ings, both new acquisitions at the club in real life. I'm hoping they're going to do a job for us here. Both players suit the roles they're playing in complete forward support and poacher attack. As you can see, we're playing attacking and structured. For team instructions, you can see them here. There's nothing too crazy going on here. We're going to be closing down a lot, playing fairly wide, looking for the overlap, but looking to exploit the middle where we can. And on that note, I guess we'll get into today's game. I'm optimistic to see how we get on here. You can see my bench here. We'll review our team in a little bit more depth in a future episode, but for this first episode, there's always loads to cover. With it being, I guess, the first episode of Football Manager 2016, I want to show you guys a little bit of everything. So we're going to move into the game, show you guys the match engine, which, if you've never seen before, looks really nice this year. Lots of new animations. There's less of the players gliding around. Looking at it here, apparently we might scrape a 1-0. We're evens favourites, so I'm pretty optimistic that we can do well here. As you can see, we've only been in charge for 5 weeks, so hopefully we can leave a good impression here. Bertrand's out injured. I'm going to just say that they're going to miss him, but I think that our preparation's been good for the season. Looking at how they're going to set up here, it's a 4-1-4-1. And as you can see, for us, we're playing a 4-3-1-2. So let's get on to the opponent opposition instructions. I'm going to apply team advice, continue to team talks. I'm going to tell the players that we can't really let down the fans. And I'm also going to look to encourage them and tell them that I believe they've got what it takes. Anyway, let's start this game, see how we get on. I'm going to sort out our camera speeds and stuff. We'll play with key highlights for this first game. For the bigger games, we might play an extended down the line. I'm going to play on 2D Classic, but with goals on Director. Personal preference, I'm a dots man. I guess that goes back to Champman 04, I think, when these were first introduced. But hopefully we can get off to a flyer, get a good result to start this save, and hopefully, I guess, a good result to really kick off this season. So in terms of my expectations for this year, the board, I've told, or been told, I guess, by them, that they want us to finish top 4. I think that's reasonable. I think we can definitely do that with the squad we have, combined with the system that we're going to be using, which really kind of plays to our strengths. In terms of competition expectations elsewhere, we're wanting to reach the second round of the Europa League, which I'm confident we can do. I think FA Cup is a 4th round finish, so there's pretty lofty expectations of the board, really. Top 4 for real life in Liverpool is something that, as a fan, I'd absolutely be delighted with. It's not going to be a walk in the park by any means, particularly as I've not signed a load of first team kind of players immediately. I'm hoping the board are going to give me patience to really bed in some of the younger players in. And we're off to a good start, really, here. Looking at the possession, 60% after 9 minutes. Cannot complain with that. Can we make something of the set piece? It's going to be Coutinho to whip it in. Cleared out, but can he put the second ball in? Graziano Pelle there. And this is a good spell of early kind of possession. I couldn't really ask for a better start. A goal would really cap off what's been an awesome 10 minutes for us. Ball comes in, it's cleared away, but only as far as Nathaniel Klein. Really looking with this system for our fullbacks to provide the width. Of course, we've got the situation as, oh, Firmino scores. He scores on his debut. What a man. Playing that deep line playmaker role. A bit of an odd role. Some people may have raised an eyebrow at that. I'm not convinced that's where he's going to play this year, but for now he's going to be there. And, well, he's headed in. A nice header there, all things considering. Keeper couldn't get to it. What I was saying was, with our 4-3-1-2 formation, we're really going to be looking at our wing-backs to provide the width in our team. And as you can see here, Klein doing a really good job of that, as is Moreno. I want these guys to push on as the fullbacks. I want them to support us in the attack. With our 3 centre mids set with the team instruction play wider, there's that kind of chance for them to kind of spread as a midfield free and, I guess, you know, cover ground, but it's really going to be vital for us that Klein and Moreno stay fit. Looking at it here, I'm being told that we've been overrunning midfield, but possession really states otherwise, as we're going to have another set piece. We are having a lot of corners here. That is our 5th of the game, as we've got another chance potentially. Going to be worked around quite nicely here. Hopefully we can recycle the ball here after it's been initially cleared and look to, I guess, create some more opportunities. Lucas I think he won the header there. If he didn't, he certainly put some pressure on the attacker. So for you guys who are watching this for the first time, hopefully you'll stick around with us through this adventure. I'm really excited by this game. For you old guard, obviously thank you for taking the time to come back and watch this series as Ings scores. Danny Ings, first goal of the season, another debut goal, but none of them being the players that I've signed. Curiously, it's worth noting the fact that of our starting 11, they're all players that were already at the club. I actually quite rate Liverpool's side in Football Manager, and it kind of suits this narrow system that we're going to play, particularly because there is just a lack of winger talent. I guess the only exception to that might be Jordan Ibe, but even him, I'm training to play as a centre-attacking mid, because I think that's where he's going to be best suited. So we have another chance here, and well, Stecklenburger's had to take another Ings shot round the post. That was a good effort. Are we still on extended highlights? We're not. It's just been a bombarding of the Southampton goal so far, as Ings will have a chance. Emre Can hits the woodwork, and it's going to be cleared away. So hopefully you guys like the approach I'm taking in terms of signing younger players. Throughout this series, I'm definitely going to make a thing of talking about training in this game. There's been some updates to the training system in FM this year, which I really like. Obviously, we'll cover them in a little bit more detail in a future episode. The staff that I've got here, really good training-wise, and I feel like the youth development side of things is something that I always enjoy with FM, and hopefully with this save we'll see a few develop here as well. Sacco has a mare and scores an own goal. It was all going too well. Southampton yet to have a shot on target, but thanks to Sacco, well, they get their first goal of the season. The ball was whipped in from a free kick by Tadic, and then Sacco just has the decision-making of a donkey, and he heads it into his own goal. I wish he'd show that kind of striker clinical finish when we're in their box. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy with their performance. Looking at that, that's really pleasing to see that they're all fired up. I feel like last year when I played FM, I was just a little bit too nice in the team talks. You know, I kind of told them, oh, it's okay, and kind of patted them on the back and reassured them, and was far too enthusiastic. This year, I am kind of going to be running things with an iron fist, as Jay Rodriguez almost had a chance to score immediately for Southampton. So 50 minutes in, looking at the conditions, team's fairly fit, which is good. We've not had any extra injuries emerge during the kind of pre-season, which has been pretty pleasing, really, because obviously having Sturridge and Henderson out is pretty bad to start the year, but I'm hoping that the worst of that is behind us and we won't have too many injuries to keep players throughout the season, as we do get a penalty. Who is going to be the man on it? I can't remember who I put on it. It's Christian Benteke. Can he be the third player to score on his debut here in this first game of the season? He steps up to the spot, Stecklenburg in goal, and he fires it into the left-hand side of the net. And that's his first goal of the season. No mistake for him. 3-1. We are cruising here. It's been a dominant display. Southampton yet to have a shot on target. And Christian Benteke here just with a really nice place penalty. Keeper late dive into that. And I cannot complain. We are having fun here in the first day of the season. I don't think there's anything worse than kind of the first competitive match of a save, or especially the first competitive match of a Football Manager, for things just not to go to plan. It's pretty demoralising when that happens, and well, I'm pleased to say that so far so good. Hopefully we can keep things going here, although there is a chance of Southampton. We've dealt with that well though, and maybe we can build from the back here. Obviously, our narrow formation means that it's going to be really relying on the movement, particularly with Coutinho. Coutinho is going to be the big player, I think, with our system. The advanced kind of playmaker. It's going to be vital that he moves around and basically finds passes in this tight space. And he's pinged a beautiful ball there to Danny Ings, who's cutting inside. Shot there blocked, but can we do something with the possession? We've got Moreno there out in the wing. That's what I want to see from our fullbacks. I want to see them contributing, and contributing he has. He whips in the ball to Christian Benteke. Second goal. We go top of the league. We are having fun out here tonight. We've only had one clear-cut chance, but the half chances that we've had, we've finished well. And well, the ball was just drilled into his feet there, and Benteke on the turn, first time. I don't think the keeper anticipated it, and it's worked wonders for us. We have 20 minutes left. There's another highlight. I am going to look to make a sub or two, maybe bring on a few of the younger players who we've signed so far this year, as we can have another chance, although Southampton putting in a tackle. I think they've signed Brazilian Ganso. That is one hell of a signing there. Speaking of Brazilians, Lucas on the ball, Emre Can, Coutinho, Danny Ings, options inside, that's Benteke, Coutinho with the rebound. It is 5, it is domination, it is too easy for us, we are having fun. And now I'm going to make some changes. We're going to bring on Maya for his debut. We're going to bring on Mbolo for his debut. And why not bring on Mamana for his debut as well? Let's just go for all 3 of our new signings. Hopefully one of them can grab a goal in the remaining 20 minutes. That would be the kind of cherry on top of the cake. As we look at this goal here, Benteke tackled, but Coutinho following up. Keeper started to move for, I guess, anticipating a Benteke shot. It didn't happen. Coutinho smashes it in. We're going to make the triple sub. Hopefully we can get things kind of continuing in a similar pattern here as Coutinho runs forward again. Benteke, wow. Wow, my hands are up in the air. I don't know what to say. It's 6-1. It's mad. It's madness. We've scored again. I feel like this has been a really long first episode, which I didn't want it to be, but, well, we've kicked off this season perfectly. The tactics are looking great. Players are performing well. Looking at these average ratings, it's incredible. Emre Can really the only outfield player who's played the entire game who's not above an 8. But looking at it here, it looks like full time is going to be encroaching here. Shame that I guess one of our new signings couldn't get a goal having come on off the pitch, but that is all a little bit greedy. We've just absolutely demolished them there. 6-1 the final score. Southampton didn't have a shot on target. We moved top of the league. What a start to the year. Benteke with a hat-trick. And, well, the guy who predicted 1-0 at the start of the game now looks like an absolute fool. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this first episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. What a way to kick off this series. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy Football Manager 2016 on my channel, as well as, I guess, playing it in your own time. As I mentioned at the start, if you've enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you're new to my channel and you've enjoyed this video, of course, subscribe. I'm going to link a playlist for this series at the top of the description. Click that if you want to see episode 2 and beyond. And yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave any comments you have with regards to FM16, this save, any questions you have down below. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.